We're back with the 2,000 horsepower M3 build.
3,000
3,000
horsepower.
Stock internals,
long
one
block.
pull, and you're done.
Finally got my goodies from shout out Pure Drivetrain Solutions. We are now a dealer through them. Got all my good stuff through them. Waiting on my billet flex plate. Other than that, got the transfer case upgrade kit.
Let's unbox this stuff.
Chain, gasket maker, wheels, clutching. I think that's clutching, yeah, clutching. Got the book coming for install.
And Ty's gonna do all the
I'm
work.
just purely caked up with joy for him.
Got the transfer case upgrade kit, all that good stuff. This is the converter, all packaged really nice, super nice boxing. This is the 2650 model, so it's a billet, lockup, and then higher stall torque converter. So good upgrade, especially if you're going with a larger turbo like that. It'll help the car come up on power faster, spool the turbo faster. Not super necessary, but it kind of makes that little bit of difference to make it not so doggy. But I don't think we'll have a problem with spool with the. I'll show you. I opted to go with the new Garrett line of turbochargers. Don't mind my mouse back here. This is basically a GXR 42 1450. So it's a 72.9 millimeter inducer, 75 millimeter exducer, rated at 1450 horsepower, but obviously won't reach that. This is their new line of performance turbochargers, so I'm happy to see what it does. I have the compressor wheel sent out for the whistling to T51R mod at OCD Works. That'll sound awesome once it's in. Ready to go. Garrett turbo. I also went with a KLM, not their Savage kit, but their normal single turbo kit. I'm also a dealer through them. Should have that kit beginning of next week, so pretty excited about that. Trans is out, ready to go for teardown. I'll be doing this with my father. So Mike, he's the master tranny builder, so he's gonna give me a hand in doing this up with the Pure Stage 2 kit DIY. You can also purchase the DIY kits, or you could have us build the trans for you. Like I said, we're a dealer through Pure. Really awesome products. Have a ton of records already. Super good at, you know, all the ZF8s and Chrysler, BMW. They're doing a lot of 10-speed stuff now. Bust this thing open. We got a shirt, billet, hub, additional steels and fibers to hold all that additional clamping force and to hold the more power that the engine is going to produce. So they offer, I think, 1 or 2 more fibers and steels.
That looks insane in there.
Yeah, no, and it's got billet hubs. This is rated at 1400 horsepower, but I know a bunch more people have pushed them farther with good luck and being reliable. So this car, if it lands in the 900 to 1000 range and stays together for a summer, I'll be more than happy. Definitely want to keep the number 6 or number 1 rod in the block, or I mean any of the rods in the block. Try to keep them in the block because that's kind of the weak point. So all gonna add in torque control, kind of just let it sing a little bit. I might rev a little bit higher than what it's used to push it a little bit, see what it does. But currently been putting together a fuel system for it. So we have a billet Precision Raceworks top hat. So there's a lot of fun going on in here right now. Basically, they provide you with OEM bulkhead connector that'll go down into your factory pump. So how I did it is that the factory fuel system is going to remain there, the factory pump, all that and so forth. And I added a Walbro 450 in tank. So that's where this bulkhead connector is. That'll be powered via relay and then power the pump. Then that pump is going to feed out of the top hat, come to the back here under the car, and don't mind the mess. Still got everything everywhere back here. I opted to put the radium surge tank on the passenger side along with brushless controller. I'm running a E5 LM singular pump in there. Should be good for 1000 horsepower. Got the brushless controller mounted right here, wiring right into the top hat, and then wiring push through down to a factory pass through into the car, and then back through underneath the car, another pass through. One of these relays will be powering the brushless controller for the brushless pump. The second relay will be powering the additional pump I put in the tank, the lift pump to the surge tank, which is that Walbro 450. So those lines coming out of the top, the 2 I added with the push locks on them, that 6AN is gonna feed this radium surge tank, and then the second one is going to be an overflow for the surge tank, and then that will go back to the factory tank. And then I have a 8AN feed that I'm going to drop down through the back of the car with a pass-through. Then it's going to go up to the front through a ID 750 fuel filter. Keep going right to the rail, the CSF rail, feeding the ID 1750s back to an air motive regulator, and then dumping down, coming back to here to the return. Why I opted to do it this way is because, like I said in the last video, I wanted to keep the port injection and direct injection entirely separate of each other. So it's not like you're feeding port injectors and the high pressure fuel pumps with one line. They have their own dedicated fuel systems to each other, so you don't have flow issues with just running one line feeding 2 fuel systems, and also so you don't have oscillations. It all retain the factory fuel lift pump feeding the high pressure fuel pumps, and they'll stay happy. Because I know some people have, there's an issue of teeing. It's not a huge issue, but a lot of people that when they run just one and use the factory feed line and then you tee it to the port injectors, I know you can get oscillations due to the port injectors, and that can also affect the high pressure fuel pump. I don't see it as much, but it is, an issue. So I opted to keep them entirely separate. So I have 1,000 horsepower worth of port injection, and then, anywhere from, based on ethanol content, 500 to 700 horsepower worth of direct injection. So with a combined, 1,500 to 1,700 wheel horsepower worth of fuel system on tap. I always like to overdo the fuel systems, and I like building fuel systems, so I like to overdo it so you could eventually grow into it.
That way you never have to change that out.
Yeah, you never have all this work is done kind of like one time. I have this orange wire coming through, hanging out, just flopping around. This is for once I get a port injection controller, either the Rev2 boot mod board or a motive controller, I will be able to control the pulse width modulation of the brushless controller. So I'll be able to neck it down and then speed up the pump in the surge tank based on fuel requirements. So basically, I'm doing all this extra stuff, but I'm also able to keep the fuel cooler than if I was running like triple Walbro 450s in the pump. So it's nice to, use this new technology of brushless pumps and be able to, make more power with it just with keeping the fuel cooler. Like I said, just trying to keep everything clean, not certed. I got all my fuses for my relays, keeping everything clean, wrapped. Got a good ground coming right over to the shared with a battery ground. And, I do this for customer cars as well. I can wear all this up, plumb it.
Doing that kind of over there, right?
RS3 received the 3 Walbros in tank, so basically that'll just run on one Walbro 450, and then once you kick in about over 14-15 pounds of boost, hop switch will trigger, and it'll trigger the triple pump setup, so you have plenty of fuel flow. This I'll be able to control the pump through the factory ECU and kind of ramp that up based on how much fuel demand I need. So I could pretty much find a limit of where if I'm dropping a little bit of fuel pressure on the port side, I can ramp that brushless pump up, give it more duty, and kind of account for if I have any issues with that if I'm not already out of pump. But if I was out of pump, I'd be making some power. That's where we're at right now. Like I said, waiting for the KLM kit to be finished built. That should be here next week. Oh, one more thing. I got this hanging out as well. This is going to be to trigger these pumps. So I'm just going to grab a fuse tap it, and go into one of these fuses here. So once I key it on, all this, relays, the lift pump, in tank, or the surge tank pump will kick on. All that will kick on. Got all this legwork of wiring done. I'm waiting on a couple pass-throughs to punch through the body, and then I have my lines ran. I've kind of decided up front that I'm going to be running them along the factory line, like the factory feed line through here. So you got these 2 hoses kind of hanging out through here. And these run all the way to the back of the car. They're PTFE Vibrant hose, 8AN feed and return. So yeah, just trying to make it really, really tidy, really nice, neat packaging. Overbuilding it because I still have a stock long block. So the drivetrain, all that would be good. Basically, the bottleneck will be the motor. So given that it's my own personal car, I don't really care.
You push the limit, see what it does.
I'll shoot rods out of the thing and not care, so it doesn't really matter to me, and I'm just kind of R&Ding myself. Doing up the downpipe, fabrication, probably make some changes to the charge pipe. The next step, I'm gonna, once my father gets back from Florida, we're gonna start putting this thing together. Probably start putting together the transfer case myself. Kind of the next step, I want to kind of get the fuel system finished in a sense. It won't be finished until I get the engine trains, driveline back in it, so I know perfectly where I want to put the fuel pressure regulator, because it's a big bulky doodah. I like to run these larger regulators so you have plenty of flow and not any oscillation. So this is like Aeromotives Pro. It's a big dude. It's got 12-inch ORB inlets. Comes along with an additional spring, so if you're running, if you want to crank up the base pressure and really get all you can out of your injectors, you can do that as well. I have a brushless pump, so I could crank this up to whatever I want, and the brushless won't really care. It'll just keep making fuel flow. Little things, little things count. I tried to improve how the boot mod sensors mounted on the DI factory. They got a nice kit. No complaints about that. I'm just gonna make it all AN, 6 AN, PTFE. This just quick connects to the rail, done. Trying to optimize stuff.
You never showed this going in.
I know, right? Got that baby on, got that in. Beautiful. It's well worth the money for the kind of product this is. So I'm really happy with this. Everything fit perfect. All the CNCing, all the welding, everything on it's very, very solid. So very nice piece. And that's gonna keep everything cool. 40 plus pounds of boost that I'm gonna be cramming through it. So happy with that. Other than that, like I said, I gotta get port controller as well. So the port controller, I will probably most likely be mounting inside of here. BMW has this, wide open area right here. A lot of people put their surge tanks right here, but I didn't want to because I think it'd be a little bit too tight. Port controller's gonna mount here. Probably mount it to like factory spot, make it clean, make the wiring all clean. Going in and out of it, either make my own pass-throughs or use factory pass-throughs that are already there. And then I would have to run a wire that pulse with modulating wire from the brushless pump up to here and connect it. So I can control a pump controller through the factory ECU with the port controller board. So like I said, goals 900, 1,000 with stock motor. Trying to keep it to survive. If it survives all summer, maybe I'll push a little bit at the end of summer, see what it'll do. If I can keep that thing in one piece, that would be lit. That would be optimal or favored. It's exciting. Trying to do the best you can with everything, and I'd love to offer a kind of just like you can just buy a fuel system like that as a package deal from me. I already cut hoses, fittings, fuel filter, surge, pump. Everything's just ready to go, just needing install. So I'm kind of jotting down everything I did, every part I used, and I'd like to sell it as a package. Yeah.
We'll pick up on the wrench.
Yeah, we'll pick up on the wrenching.
We're wrapping it here. What are we waiting on?
We are waiting on the compressor cover from T51R. Fortunately, I would have to send the whole center section with it for them to basically find the anti-surge, basically remap the compressor I don't know what they do, but they need the center section for that turbo because the GXR race series, the tolerances are so tight between the compressor and the actual blades of the turbo that they need the actual center section of it. So unfortunately, I'm at a point right now where I can almost pretty much get it running here shortly. So do that next winter. So that's being shipped back. I pretty much got all the fuel system done. Just waiting on the ECU to come back from Femto to do the Rev 2 update, and I've just been plugging away. I just completed the fuel system, so I've been plugging away with that. I'm gonna run AN for the fuel pressure regulator reference. I'm gonna do AN everything, so, and then next I'm gonna do the coolant AN for the coolant 6 off the thermostat housing, off the factory spots, pretty much water pump housing, I guess. And then off the water pump, this will go in, go back out, and return. So I'll still have coolant running through the turbo for the life of it. Obviously, it's still a mess because I gotta wait for my ECU to come back, dump that stuff back in, and that all tidy up. Got all the fuel system finished, finally. That was one hell of a project, so see what's
all these clips that we've been putting in, this video started like maybe a month or 2 months ago.
And I probably have, I don't know how much vibrant stuff. I have, that's like half of it. And that's like 30 bucks a piece on top of this stuff that I still got to do. And nonetheless, I got my t-shirts in. So if you guys want t-shirts in black, white, black, gray, or white, black, they're hitting the site right now. So what do you want me to say about that?
Go cop them things. I think that's what they say. The kids say these days.
Go cop one of them things. No. So t-shirts just hit the site. The Turn Me Up signature tee. So go grab one of those. They came out sick. They fit very well. It's good fabric. So
yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah, it looks real good. He changed.
Pumped about the fresh fabric, and the t-shirts came out sick. Super happy with them. So we got 3 different ways that you can get them. So go grab one. Go grab one for a gift for somebody, or come get a tune and come get one. So
next video,
hopefully downpipe. I'm still deciding if we're gonna do the big, as Matt would consider it, moose of a 4-inch downpipe. I did get a 4-inch discharge outlet housing, so you see what you can do, but it's this tight to high pressure fuel lines here, so I'm gonna put some sheathing on that, cover that up, keep that cool. So I might just go with 3.5 for now, but I'd like to do the moose of a 4-inch.
We also didn't talk about, we had to trim a little bit.
Since I got this big ginormous divided housing, we had to do a little dicing on the one side for that was one of the airbox mounts, but I couldn't stomach it, so I had Matt come over and I had to walk away. So he was able to cut that thing up just fine. I got the Rev 2 board mounted, right, nice and tidy in here. I just got to finish running the wiring to tap into the CAN bus. So that's got to go in the cabin. The rest of this, I just got zip doodle on the side. This is my old flex harness just dangling right now. Like I said, it's a work in progress, so there's stuff dangling, but I'm getting stuff mounted and then slowly tidying everything as I get all the parts in, because if not, I might have to, as I go, I might have to change something. I have to wire electronic boost controller off this. I gotta run a low pressure fuel pump trigger, wire to the back. It's under construction still, so it's gonna be messy. But once it starts coming together, it'll all kind of mesh. And
I'm thinking next video will be final fab and then first start.
First start. Getting there. It's in. Hopefully my father-built transmission works correctly.
You guys like we did some glasses cams, some meta glasses cams. Get that shifting good. I gotta go get ISTA once I get this thing running, and pretty much reset every adaptation for everything front diff. They have checks for how dirty the oil is, so I gotta reset everything since I changed everything. So gotta get BMW software for that some stuff, but that's all. Nothing that the normal consumer needs to worry about. This is all handled on our end. So still quite a bit of left of work to do, but I probably won't put the front end on it until we're actually finished with fabrication, running everything, because it just makes it so much easier to get to everything. Lean over.
Yeah. So the front end's gonna be the last thing, and that won't be too bad. But no, I'm pumped. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
It's an expensive tunnel.
Yeah.
He sold his house and everything for this. He lives up there now.
I sold my girlfriend. I sold my dog.
Oh.
My cat. Selling t-shirts.
Oh yes, we're selling t-shirts. Go get a t-shirt.
Selling t-shirts. So go get a t-shirt, please.
Please, he needs
please.
All of them sold now.
That's pretty much it, right, Jordy?
That's it. This video is fire. All right, we need to go home.